A secret Chinese dock sits 30 kilometers south of Guam. Satellite imagery revealed a concrete-capped structure on the seafloor, clearly designed for submarines and unmanned drones, and the People's Liberation Army Navy has been training there since 2022. The location matters because Guam anchors the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Any covert base can monitor carrier movements, disrupt logistics, and launch surprise attacks without warning. By embedding forces in international waters, Beijing sidesteps the diplomatic fallout of a land base while gaining a permanent foothold within missile range of Hawaii. This shifts the strategic balance from a visible deterrent to a hidden threat that could force the United States to reroute supplies, raising shipping costs that ultimately hit grocery bills worldwide. What would you do if the next war started beneath the waves? Subscribe to see tomorrow's power move first. British missiles in Kiev sparked a Russian warning. Moscow says any strike from those weapons could trigger retaliatory hits on UK military sites, linking a distant battlefield directly to London's bases. The logic is simple: the United Kingdom supplied long-range air defense missiles, and Kiev has begun using them against Russian assets, giving Moscow a pretext to expand the target list beyond its own territory. By naming British installations, Russia forces NATO to weigh the risk of a broader escalation, because an attack on a UK base would obligate its allies under collective defense commitments. That calculus could push Western forces to rethink the flow of arms to Ukraine, potentially tightening supply chains that already strain defense budgets. If the threat becomes credible, the price of those missiles and the cost of any retaliatory strikes could ripple through global markets, affecting everything from aircraft production to consumer goods. 2 Russian-built Suezgate cranes vanished last month. The Suez Canal now hosts a joint Russian-Egyptian strategic transit partnership that grants Russia a veto over any vessel carrying sanctioned commodities, effectively turning the waterway into a lever of Moscow's economic warfare. Egypt, cash-strapped after years of subsidy cuts, receives a guaranteed $2 billion in infrastructure loans from the Russian State Bank, tying its national budget to Kremlin approval. That debt creates a hidden pressure point. If Russia decides to block oil or grain shipments, Egypt must choose between defaulting on the loan or opening its ports to rival powers, a decision that could split the nation's political elite. The stakes reach your grocery bill and fuel pump because a single canal closure would spike global prices overnight. Which side would you bet on if the canal became a bargaining chip? Subscribe to see tomorrow's power move first. Kalibr missiles now sit on the Baltic's silent coasts. Russia's Baltic fleet loaded the 3 M14E Kalibr on the Kashin and Moskva frigates, vessels that have never before patrolled beyond the Gulf of Finland. These cruise missiles can strike a 300-kilometer radius, meaning any ship in the Kattegat, Øresund, or even the North Sea can be hit without warning. The deployment forces NATO's Baltic navies to operate under a permanent missile in range alert, stretching their already thin anti-missile budgets and forcing costly repositioning of commercial cargo routes. For European energy traders, the hidden cost is a surge in shipping insurance premiums that quickly ripple into higher gasoline prices at the pump. So the real question, will the Baltic become the new flashpoint for global trade? Subscribe to see tomorrow's power move first. 8 central banks coordinate behind closed doors under the Cipolla protocols, quietly influencing nearly every global currency move. It's a financial chess game, not of power but of precision coordination. These protocols manipulate interest rates, exchange rates, and currency reserves, hidden from public view. The stakes? Your purchasing power, your savings, and the very price of goods that fill your grocery cart. As their secret decisions ripple through global markets, nations find themselves caught in a delicate dance of dependence and strategy. The most critical moves aren't front-page news, they're whispered in hushed, private chambers. This control over currency can shift economic landscapes overnight. How does your economy fare under such invisible strings? Subscribe to see tomorrow's power move first. A 45-kilometer canal in Istanbul could shift the balance of power in the Black Sea. As Turkey pushes forward with Canal Istanbul, a man-made waterway parallel to the Bosphorus, it's more than just a marvel of engineering. Currently, the Montreux Convention limits warships in the Bosphorus. This canal might bypass that, allowing more control over military passage. Imagine vessels from global powers having unrestricted access to the Black Sea, which is rich in untapped natural gas and oil reserves. This positions Turkey as a key gatekeeper in energy and military movements. Are we witnessing Turkey's gambit for greater influence in a historically tense region? What impact will this have on your energy costs? Will Turkey's new canal reshape geopolitical power? Subscribe to see tomorrow's power move first. Nestlé, a Swiss behemoth, has a surprising hand in your grocery bill. Their control over a vast global supply chain lets them influence food prices everywhere. With operations in over 190 countries, they hold immense sway over commodities like cocoa and coffee. But it's not just about what you eat. Consider the impact of this power on small farmers squeezed by price pressure. Now, imagine the ripple effect on global economies where these crops are major exports. Nestlé's scale means they can dictate terms, from commodity prices to retail shelf costs. The stakes? Global food security and your wallet. This manipulation can lead to price spikes during shortages, affecting millions. So, as you pour your morning coffee, ask yourself, who really controls the price you pay? Subscribe to see tomorrow's power move first. Iran's Natanz centrifuges halted by a single malicious USB. In early 2023, an Israeli cyber unit slipped a worm-laden flash drive into the fuel rod workshop of the Natanz enrichment plant, causing the high-speed rotors to spin out of sync and destroy dozens of machines. The malware, later identified as Operation Orchard, mimics the logic bomb design of the 2010 Stuxnet code but adds a self-destruct trigger that activates when engineers try to patch it, ensuring the sabotage spreads before it can be contained. By knocking out roughly a quarter of Natanz's capacity, the strike pushed Iran's breakout timeline back several months, buying the United States and its allies a diplomatic window to pressure Tehran on its nuclear dossier. That delay rippled through global oil markets, nudging prices upward at the pump and forcing energy traders to recalibrate risk models. If a single flash drive can reshape a nation,